What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. And I told y'all every week we'll be doing a top five threats for each weight class, all the way up to the heavyweight clash of Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou at UFC 260. I'm super fucking excited for that fight, and I can't wait for it. But let's get to it. Not the first weight class because we already did flyweight, but the weight class coming up and the weight class I'm doing right now will be the bantamweight division at 135. This division is fucking hot right now, y'all. And Petr Yan has been, a killer lately. But I feel like he hasn't fought, the highest of level competition in his come up. Beating Uriah Faber and Aldo. They're two good wins to have on your resume. But I feel like besides that, you gotta look at his Jimmy Rivera win. Probably might be his best win. Yeah, he has a list of guys to fight, and I can't wait for it. And what he's been able to do, in the pro circuit, before his run in the UFC, it's amazing, and he is a talented fighter. So I'm not trying to say he's a paper champ. I think you know, he can be really good, but he has to prove himself though. I feel like he has a proving ground to make, but I cannot wait for him to make these statements against these guys. But at number five though, as in terms of my top five threats to Petr Yan, Maraud Davis. Marab is he is cardio. My God, and his wrestling pressure. I know Ricky Simone does have that win, and I like Ricky, but Marab has been looking amazing um, since that loss to Ricky. And Ricky, on the other hand, even though he's been looking good, he did lose to Faber, and I kind of do hold that over his head a little bit, but I'll try not to. But yeah, Marab is looking. He's been looking good. His performance against Dotson, and a lot of people are actually gonna pick Dotson. I noticed that, which was interesting. What he was able to do with his wrestling, his cardio, and just his boxing, and I liked what he was able to do on the feet. He wasn't fearful of getting it in, and his wrestling, what he did to Casey Kenny, man, like it was wild. So I think if he fights Petr Yan, and obviously we've seen, if you watch Yan's career, right? You watch him fight Magomedov, right? At the, I think, was it ACB or something like that? That one of or M1, or I forget what it was called. But one of the Russian promotions, Magomedov. I think that's the guy's name. He showed really great takedown defense. So I guess against Marab he would probably have good takedown defense. But Marab puts a pace, puts a pressure, and maybe he could make it a dogfight. You never know. So, but it's really early in Marab's career. He still needs more fights. But he's been looking amazing. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. But at number four, we got Robbie Font, man. Rob Font, his performance against Marlon Rice to crack in the top five. Rob Font has always been really good. His problem is he always kind of chokes when he gets a top five guy. But he's always had great boxing, his striking. Those them boys. He's a problem. Them New England cartel boys are a problem. I know Cater just got fucking mollywopped against Holloway, but Rob, he still has a chance to go get that gym a belt. But his performance against Almeida, he's had some really good performances, right? But he does have some stinkers where he did lose to Pedro Munoz, he did lose to Rafael Assunção, so he does have that. But what he did to Marlon Moraes, I know Marlon was it was 2 months coming off a knockout to Corey Sandhagen, but to do that to a guy that challenged for the title, main evented a pay per view, by the way, was one of the scariest guys. You know, my God, like for a minute, what he did to Aljamain Sterling, you know, um, you got to give the guy some respect for even beating Marlon or being confident enough to go in there. You look at Marlon's highlight reel; it's fucking scary. But Rob, he poses a lot of threats, especially in the boxing, and I think he would give Jan some trouble, and he'd challenge him in a lot of good areas. But overall, I think Jan would probably beat Rob Font and even Marab. As much as I like those guys as contenders, I think Jan would get him out of there. But let's go to the top three, and these three guys I can honestly see them beating Yan. And at number 3, I gotta go with no love Cody Garbrandt, man. Garbrandt, his comeback performance against Assunção, I mean, oh my, that was amazing to see what he was able to do. And these guys don't even like each other. They kind of have beef. If you remember after UFC 245, they were backstage and Cody Garbrandt and Yan, weren't mincing any words. They don't like each other. But I would love to see the matchup. Yan is a slow starter, and Cody, I wouldn't say Cody's a fast starter, but Cody's super, super explosive, super, super fast. He does. I still believe he still has those flaws in his game. Someone just has to bring it out of him, and I think Yan can't do that. But man, if Yan gets caught, like I've seen Yan get caught by Dodson. People forget John Dodson dropped him, right? I think Cody can do it, but this is primarily an awesome. Both guys really pride themselves on their boxing, right? Cody Garbrandt talks about his boxing when he was younger. Yan the same way. His amateur boxing in Russia. He likes to talk about that a lot. So this was almost be kind of like, an awesome Rocky Four kind of moment. The Russian versus the American, and it'd be, I think we'd see a lot of hands being thrown. It'd be a good scrap. Both guys are good at everything though. It's not like these guys are just primarily boxers in there. Both guys have good kicks. Both guys have good wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But they love to swing, and it would be awesome, man, to see those guys throw leather in the fucking what is it, 4 ounce, right? Or 8 ounce, 8 ounce gloves or something like that. It'd be fucking amazing to see. But at number 2, and I know I'm gonna surprise some people with this, I got the Funk Master Aljamain Sterling. No disrespect to Sterling, but Sterling does pose a lot of problems. The submission threat is a legitimate thing in this matchup that's actually going to be coming up at UFC 259. Can't wait to break that down. But I don't want to go too in depth with it. But I think Aljamain's wrestling is really good, but Jan's takedown defense is also really good. So really the issue is if Aljamain can get it dry in the first round and submit him, that's the number one threat. Aljamain has submitted really, really good guys in Corey Sandhagen and Cody Stamann. That Cody Stamann finish was impressive. Cody is no punk, man, and he did that to a really good guy. So I got a lot of respect for him. But I don't want to talk too much about the matchup since I will be making a breakdown on it really coming up soon. But at number 1, I got to go with, I'm going to be shouting out one of my followers, Kendall's boy, Corey the fucking Sandman Sandhagen. This guy is a problem, man, for Yan. Long, rangy, has a legitimate, experience in kickboxing. I think he said in Errol's interview he has like about 3, amateur belts in in kickboxing. He's been around the kickboxing circuit and Muay Thai circuit. So striking wise, he's there. And what he's been able to do, even before the first 2 knockouts he had over Marlon, not his. I wouldn't say they're the first 2 knockouts of his career, but those knockouts that that really was like, oh shit. The one over Marlon and Frankie Edgar. Even before, he still is a problem. If you look at what he was able to do to Rafael Assunção, that's when he broke into the top 5. Oh my God, what he's able to do. He's rangy. The way he switches stances, it's almost so seamless for him. It's really, really scary how this guy can move. And Yan, it would be a tough fight for Yan. Yan would have to, put immense pressure. I think Yan would have to wrestle in this matchup to really win and grind out a decision out of Corey. Corey, even back then, would be a bad matchup for Yan. But right now, Corey, you just listen to him talk. Frankie Edgar's my boy. I love Frankie, and I picked Frankie. I'm not too proud of that. But he eviscerated him. And when you're talking to Ariel, and he talks about how he's been reading, like, The Art of War, and he just seems like, I've been listening, he just seems more aggressive now. More like he wants to just destroy people after the Aljamain Sterling loss. I think everyone respected Corey, when he beat Rafael Assunção, but people were just like, well, we're not too sold on him. And that's why a lot of people ended up going with Aljamain. I ended up going with Aljamain too, and that was such an awesome win for Aljo. But man, you could tell it really hurt Corey, and I didn't think it was that bad of a loss for Corey. He just got submitted in the first round. I know that's, I guess, kind of embarrassing, but it's not like you got knocked out. It's not like you got dominated. You just kind of almost low-key got caught, right? But he took it to heart, and you could see, I picked him to beat Marlon, but what he did to my boy Frankie was fucking, that was, oh man, that was evil. it was evil. Like, people are saying, fucking, as much as I love Derek Lewis, like that Derek Lewis, his knockout over Curtis's knockout of the year. Nah, man, don't have short memories, y'all. What Corey Sandhagen did to Frankie, I think that might win it. But yeah, that's my top five. I got Corey at number one. I can legitimately see Corey beating Yan, maybe by decision. I don't know if he knocks him out. Yan's pretty tough, but I could see that. Um, but yeah, like, this is wild, man. Like, he is a problem, and a very very scary man. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. These are my top five threats of the bantamweight division. Next week we got the featherweight division. Can't wait to talk about that. I love doing these kind of videos. Can't wait. For UFC 260, it's coming up. UFC 259 is also coming up, and Vegas 20 is also coming up. So we got some pretty good cards. They're giving us a lot of great fights. It's dope to be a UFC fan right now. Hope you guys are doing good with your picks. Hope you guys get it right. Love y'all and goodbye. Don't forget though to follow me on my Instagram, to follow me on my Twitter, and if you're new, hit the like button or hit the dislike button. It's your choice. Click the notifications. Click all notifications, by the way, just to help the channel out. Subscribe, comment, share the video. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. I love y'all and goodbye.